Hey everyone, I'm Liz Fairy and today I'm going to show you how to make some basic clothes for your crochet dolls. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make a hoodie style jacket. In this part of the tutorial, I'll show you how to make the hood part of the jacket. And in the next part of the video, I'll show you how to complete the actual jacket part. This pattern is really easy to customize to any size doll, but I'll be making mine to fit these two different dolls. My realistic body doll, and my basic doll. Some other things you'll need for this tutorial are a crochet hook. You can use any size you like. I'm going to use a size E. A pair of scissors. A yarn needle to sew in your ends. You'll need bobby pins or stitch markers to keep track of your stitches. And you'll need yarn. You could really use any yarn to dress your doll, but I find a thinner yarn works better to make a light sweater, and a thicker yarn works better for making a thicker coat. So I'll be using crochet thread to make a sweater and worsted weight yarn to make a coat. I'm using this rose pink from Caron Simply Soft, but you can use any color you like. If you're making yours with crochet thread, you might want to add more rows to make up for the size of the thread, or you could use a different hook size like a size G. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make your jacket using worsted weight yarn. If you want, you could use a zipper or buttons to sew onto your hoodie when it's done, but I won't be doing that until the next part of the video. And if you'd like a written pattern, you could find one in my Ravelry store. The link is in the description below. How you begin your doll's sweater depends on whether you want the sweater to have a hood, or a collar, or neither. I'll start by showing you how to make the hood. Then I'll show you how to make the collar later in the video. So first I'm going to create a slip knot. Then I'm going to chain 6 to make a foundation chain. Okay, I finished with my 6 chains. Now I'm going to chain 1 more, and that's going to count as the first stitch of the row. So I'm going to mark that chain with one of my bobby pins. Now I'm going to single crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook to begin the next row. I'm going to start every row this way for this part so that the hood will stay open at the front. So now I'm going to single crochet again into the next chain. So I've done 3 stitches so far. Now into the last 3 chains on this side, I'm going to increase. So I'm going to single crochet twice into each of those chains. Alright, I've done 3 increases on this side of my chain. Now I'm going to turn the work, and I'm going to increase into the first 3 chains on this other side of the foundation chain, starting with the same chain I last increased in. So I'm going to increase again into that chain, but on the opposite side. Now I have 4 total stitches in the last chain of the foundation. Next I'm going to increase into the next 2 chains. Now I have a total of 6 increases, 3 on this side of the foundation, and 3 on this side of the foundation. Now to finish the row, I'm going to single crochet into the last 3 chains on this side. Alright, I've finished with my first row. Now I'm going to chain 1 for the first stitch of the next row. And mark that chain with another bobby pin. And once again, single crochet into the third stitch from the hook. Here at the sides of the rows, this is going to be the front side of the hood. Now I'm going to single crochet until I get to the first of the 6 stitches at the middle back of the row, which is going to be the 7th stitch of the row. So I'm going to single crochet until I get to that stitch. I've already done 2 stitches. Alright, I've gotten to the 6 middle stitches of the row. Into each of those 6 stitches, I'm going to increase again. Alright, I've finished with my 6 increases. Now I'm going to single crochet into the remaining stitches of the row. This is going to be my last row of increase. But if you want to make the top of the hood bigger, just keep repeating that pattern. Single crochet until the middle 6 stitches of the row, increase into those 6 stitches, then single crochet until the end of the row. Alright, so I've finished increasing the size of the top of the hood. Now I'm going to lengthen the hood until it's long enough to cover the doll's head. I'm going to keep single crocheting for 12 more rows, but you can single crochet until you reach the length of the doll's head. Alright, I've gotten to the end of 12 rows of single crochet. Now I'm going to start to decrease the hood so that the bottom of the hood matches the width of the doll's neckline. To do that, I'm going to count the total number of stitches in the row and divide by 6. Then decrease by the resulting number minus 1. I have 24 stitches in the row, so I'm going to decrease every 3rd stitch of the row. Okay, on the 3rd stitch I'm going to decrease. And I'm going to continue to decrease every 3rd stitch of this row. Continue to subtract 1 for the next rows of decrease. Since I decreased the last row every 3rd stitch, in this next row I'll decrease every 2nd stitch. This is going to be my last row of decrease, but if you made a bigger hood, you may want to continue to decrease for a few more rows. Just keep subtracting 1 from the number you decreased by in the last row for every row of decrease. For example, if you decreased every 6th stitch in the last row, in the next row decrease every 5th stitch, then decrease every 4th stitch, then every 3rd stitch, and so on until you reach the width that you want for the neckline of the sweater. So I've finished my rows of decrease. Now I'm just going to single crochet for a row to lengthen the neck of the hood. You could continue to single crochet for as many rows as you like until you reach the length of the neck of your doll. But I'm just going to do 1 row. And at the end of this row, my hood for my jacket is finished, so I'm going to pull open the loop of the last stitch of the row, and I'm going to set this hood aside to finish later. To finish your hoodie, check out the next part of this tutorial, my jacket tutorial, and continue where you left off at the end of the hood. Next, I'll show you how to make the collar. The collared version is really simple. First of all, I'm using a different color. This is Springbrook from Caron Simply Soft. I'm going to start by creating a chain that's the same width I want to make for the collar of the vest. So I'm going to chain 12. The length of your chain may vary if you have a different tension, a different hook or yarn, or if you want a wider collar, so just make sure to measure your chain against the body of your doll. So I'm chaining 12 for this sweater since I'll be making it with a narrow collar. If you made a wider collar, just make a longer chain. Try to make your foundation chain divisible by 6 though to make it easier to decrease later. For this wider collar, I chained 24. To start my next row, I'm going to chain 1, and that's going to count as the first stitch of the row. So I'm going to mark it with my bobby pin. Then I'm going to single crochet into the third chain from my hook to begin the row. I'm going to do this to begin every row so that the front of the vest stays open. Next, I'm going to single crochet into each of the remaining chains, since I'm making a narrow collar. I'm just going to do the one row of single crochet for my collar, but you can go on for as many rows as you like to lengthen the collar. But if you made a wider collar, you should decrease the same way that we decreased the hood, until the collar reaches the desired width for the neckline of the vest. So count how many stitches are in the first row of single crochet and divide by 6. Then decrease by that number minus 1, just like we decreased at the end of the hood until the collar reaches the desired size. For my wide collar, since I had 24 stitches in my first row, I decreased every third stitch of the row, then I decreased every second stitch of the row. And when I'm done with the collar, I'm just going to pull open the last loop so that I can finish the rest of the jacket later. Here's what the hooded version looks like when it's done. Here's the short, narrow collar version. And here's the long, wide collar version. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give it a like or share it on social media. Be sure to check out the next part where I show you how to finish the coat. If you want to see more basic doll tutorials, you can find a playlist at the end of this video or check in the description below.
If you want to help support me in making new videos, donate to my Patreon. It's entirely optional, but if you do, you can get some perks, like having access to my videos a week before they're posted here on YouTube. You can find more information about that in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye!